I need some sort of intro, so I'm inserting it now. That's what he said. Hey guys, JessIsAMess here. I'm Jess, my entire life is a mess, and today I'm going to take you through my procedure of styling wigs. Today I'm going to be styling my Soul Eater wig. So I got this wig off of eBay. It was advertised as a Kakashi wig, I believe is his name. The guy from Naruto with the white hair and the mask and stuff. Yeah, this was being sold as a wig for him, and I thought, oh well, if this wig works well for Kakashi, who has the hair all whoosh, it should work fine for Soul Eater, right? So it has, and I am very glad that I bought it. If I can find a link on an eBay thing, I'll link it down below so you can easily find it, but you can just search white wig on eBay. The good thing about this wig is that it's not a really cheap wig. If you get like a cheap, really cheap white wig, sometimes they can be quite plasticky and very, very hard to style because they're like, the hairs are heavier, and so it's harder to get like a good natural style. I paid a higher price for this because I wanted it to be good and I wanted to be able to style it well. So this is a foam head that I got from Hobby Lobby. So anyway, before I start styling a wig, I like to get some pins. Can you see this? They're like sewing pins, and basically just take one. Can you see that like tan colored piece? I'm gonna put it right in there. Alright, so I'm gonna do that on both sides, and then at the bottom of the wig head, and then also at the top up here. And of course we do this so that if we're brushing through the wig and trying to style it a certain way, it won't slide off the wig head. Okay, so I have 4 pins pinned all the way around the wig head so that it doesn't move. And now you might want to brush it through. I just use a plastic comb. I think some people say that it's better to use wire combs with wigs, but I'm just not about that life, man. It doesn't really make a huge difference. So just sort of brush through your wig so you can sort of get like a fresh canvas. So this I already did style before, which is why it looks so weird here, but I brushed it out so I could use it for Kaneki and Stein. Oh, that means I can't cosplay Stein. No! And that's also why I'm going to use this hairspray. This is the Tresemme hairspray, number 5. Freeze hold, and it holds very, very well, but it's also easy to like brush out, so you don't have to wash it in order to get it back down like this. You can just like brush it out. Got to be glued is good, but it's extremely hard. Like, you gotta wash that wig thoroughly in order to get that hairspray out. Don't worry about the bang. We're just gonna focus on the top of the head, getting his like spike. It actually goes this way. I have reference pictures over there. For the most part, it goes to his left. Like sometimes, depending on where he turns, it's going to his right, but for the most part, it's on his left. Okay, so to start off, we're just going to take little strands at a time and shape them up into the kind of spike that we want, and then hairspray them. So just like I'm doing here, little pieces at a time. Make sure that the pieces of hair you're styling up doesn't show the wig mesh underneath. This wig was very good about keeping the wig base hidden, but once I started to pull from the lower areas, I noticed that the wig mesh would show. So if that does happen, just pull pieces from a different area, don't worry about it. Flatten those other pieces down to make sure that it covers the wig mesh. And again, cheaper wigs will have that problem the most, so if you have a character with lots of spikes, it's best to spend the little extra cash to get a better made wig. Like I said, this one was a little bit more expensive, so it didn't have that problem as much, luckily. So just continue to use little pieces at a time and form them all together, and make sure that they make one coherent spike. This process may take some time, but in the end it'll be worth it, so just be patient and don't be afraid to mess up. Again, this hairspray is easily brush outable, so if you do mess up, you can just comb it out and start over. I decided not to cut my wig because I was using it for multiple characters, and I really didn't want the chance of messing it up, so I just decided to spray what I had. So I'm just taking pieces of hair and sticking them out and then hairspraying them underneath, on the top, all around, to make sure that it stays. And because I'm doing Black Blood Soul and or Classy Soul, I don't really have to worry about how it's going to look with the headband on, so I think that these spikes work well. So I'm just holding the spikes together with my hand and then spraying them so that they stay like that, and then I'll spray them a little more to make sure that they continue to stay like that. And I'm doing the spikes on the back the same curvature as the spike on his head. I thought that the back of his head would look more coherent if I spiked it in the way, like in the direction of the top spike on his head, so that it would all kind of look like it went together. And then I'm just sort of cleaning up the tips and making sure that they look at least a little bit spiky. Another thing you can do is instead of using hairspray for that, use got-to-be glued hair gel. If you want it to look like extra spiky, that hair gel is going to be super handy. Now I'm just doing the finishing touches and hairspraying the crap out of the rest of the wig. Especially if you're about to go to a convention, hairspray that wig like a mofo, okay? So that it will hold throughout the entirety of the convention. I did end up wearing this costume to a convention and it held up very, very well throughout the day. Also, I don't personally hairspray the bangs, but if you want to make them look more spiky, go ahead and do that. I just make sure they're out of my face and that I can see. Oh, and don't even talk to me about that piece of hair sticking out of the wig right there. I know, I see it. I fixed it before I went to the convention, so no worries, it's all good now. Let's all just be cool about it, alright guys? And Soul will take the outro. And that is how I style my Soul Eater wig. I hope you got some knowledge out of seeing me style mine, and maybe you can sort of adapt it to yours. I like to make it look like more of like a natural hairstyle, like a more easily adaptable, like what he would look like in real life, as opposed to like the blocks of hair he has, you know? But that's totally my own personal preference. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more cosplay stuff and wacky content of me being weird. If you want to see how to make these teeth, I do have a tutorial on them. You can click up here somewhere for that video. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, but I hope that you guys can join me on the journey to finding out. We'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed the video and got a little bit of knowledge would have been a better word than learned. It was originally like I got the anyway, thanks you guys.